In this video, we're going to be looking at and reviewing angle relationships and then getting an introduction to the city project that you are going to be starting. So our I can statement for today says, I can use informal arguments to establish facts about the angles created when parallel lines are cut by a transversal. So we're going to be looking into those angle relationships again. The first one we're going to look at are corresponding angles. So to review this, corresponding angles are those that are on the same side of the transversal and are in corresponding positions. So what that means is you're going to be looking at angles that are on the same side of this line right here labeled line T. And then they have to be in corresponding positions. In other words, they have to be in the same place. So angle 2 and angle 6 are both on the right side of the transversal, and they are both above line 1 and line 2 respectively. We could also look at angles 4 and 8. Those are on the bottom of line 1 and 2. You could look at angle 1 and angle 5, and angle 3 and angle 7. Those are all corresponding angles. Next, we are reviewing vertical angles, and these are ones that are just directly across from each other, and they have a vertex or a point in between them. So looking at these directly across from each other, we have angles 2 and 3, we have angles 1 and 4, we have angles 5 and 8, and angles 6 and 7. They are all directly across from each other with a vertex in the middle. The third one we're going to look at are called alternate interior angles. And these are on opposite sides of the transversal line and between the parallel lines. So right here we have angle 4, and then on the other side of that line, but down here, angle 5. So angles 4 and 5. We could also look at angles 3 and 6. And lastly, we are going to look at alternate exterior angles. And these are angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal, but are outside the parallel lines. So we have angle 1, and then on the other side, but way down here, we have angle 8. So those are alternate exterior. And then we have angle 2 and angle 7. Now, moving on to the project that you are going to be working on. You're going to be making a city in a group. You will have a certain number of streets that need to be put in, certain number of buildings that need to be put in, stoplights, anything that makes up a city. Now, I will give you those directions on a separate piece of paper, but here is what the end product will look something like. So you'll have the name of your city, you'll have the population, this will all be on a poster board. There are streets running through here, have labeled different types of buildings. We have a couple stoplights in there, and then the only thing that would need to be added into this are maybe street names for each one of these streets, but that's what we're going to be looking at. Each of these buildings are going to have a specific place that they need to be put in. So the hardware store and the restaurant are vertical angles. They are across from each other. So I will give you two buildings and tell you where they need to be. You just need to make sure you put them in the proper location.